Thank you. Todd Carbines, please. Good morning, Todd. Welcome. You've been sitting there watching the process. We've got about 10 minutes. Yours was a pleasantly brief written submission, so I'm sure that you're now going to expand upon it.
That's right.
Welcome. Over to you.
Regarding the New Brighton zone part of the bill,
Thank you so much.
my proposal is to reduce the height of the sand hills to 2 to 3 metres above street level from Shackleton Street to the South Car Park and from the North Car Park to Thompson Park. Can you now look at the submission PDFs? The first one is a reiteration of that. I support the bill. My submission is a shortened version of my proposal on evospace.co.nz, shore to shore promenade. I suggest the limits to be from opposite Shackleton Street to Thompson Park. Supplementary PDF 1 is an EvoSpace PDF of the shore to shore promenade, a hard engineered seawall and paved promenade 2 to 3 metres above Marine Parade, removal of sand hills and marron grass above promenade height to provide sea views to housing along Marine Parade. The key point considerations: continuous cycle, pedestrian and disability access along the coast, potentially enhance property values of beachfront housing. If I can now go to a more expanded written text. I grew up living on Marine Parade in the 1960s and 70s. I now live opposite the North Car Park, so I already have access to a sea view and I'm not proposing this for personal gain. My parents grew up in North New Brighton during the 1930s and 40s. At that time, the dunes were very low and the age of housing was relatively new. Sea views were certainly there from a 2-storey and often from a 1-storey house built on a previous low dune section. The marron grass was imported from Scotland to reduce sand blowing over the prospective northeastern suburbs in the 1800s. Now they are developed and the marron grass is no longer there. The marron grass has taken over from the native pingao grass on the beachfront. It has captured the sand and now the dunes are the height of power poles and 3-storey houses, which is roughly 8 metres. This has played a role in the degradation of our marquee street. The perception of people who oppose my idea on EvoSpace is that the dunes and marron grass are natural. This is untrue. They are man-altered and unnatural. This thinking is representative of a sliding baseline. The oldest residents have seen the difference. The dunes have had a negative effect on the development of New Brighton and North New Brighton housing stock. Several years ago, a plan change was made to allow for high-rise development in New Brighton, only on Marine Parade. This was to capture the sea views, but wouldn't have been necessary had the Christchurch City Council kept them down over the previous 60 years. In a conversation with Chris Freeman from the council in the mid-1990s, he acknowledged that the council should have used a bulldozer after the Waihinei storm to fill in the 5-metre cliffs and lowering the dune tops, reducing blowouts. The reason I proposed the shore-to-shore promenade on EvoSpace was to protect the length of the populated part of Pegasus Bay coastline with a rock frontage similar but smaller than the one in Sumner. Since the Waihinei storm in the 1960s, it is obvious that the sand dunes are too easily eaten into. This has happened many times since then, and with prospective sea level rise, they will be the first thing to go as it gathers momentum above 50 centimetres of rise. The modelling by the Commissioner of the Environment, Jan Wright, shows that the beach strip is higher than the land around the 2 river systems in East Christchurch. So remediating the beach coastline is the logical option, as well as building higher, more permanent riverbanks than the temporary post-earthquake ones that are there now. If I can go back to supplementary PDF 2, that states that the photos on the next PDF are of the existing promenade and the sand dunes on either side, 2 from the top of the dunes showing how far above the housing they are. There are 10 photographs in that PDF. If the sequence is correct, hopefully I can just briefly explain each photograph. The first one is the north car park from the surf club end. The second one is on top of the existing dunes with the surf club at centre. The third one is from the same spot looking down to the housing opposite on Marine Parade, noting that the top of the power poles and the house roofs are below this position. The fourth photo is looking north from the pier over the proposed location of the legacy project, which is the hot saltwater baths. That's a proposal. With the existing stone wall and promenade at centre right, a little bit hard to see. The fifth photograph is looking south from the pier, showing the ramp to the pier and the south car park with the dunes behind that. The sixth photograph is looking north from the pier, showing the north car park, surf club and dunes stretching north with a seagull about to take flight. The seventh photograph is similar to the fourth one, which was looking north from the pier, just over a wider view. And the eighth and last pictorial photograph is a wider view south of the pier, showing how much the housing is blocked out by the dunes, the 3-storey building barely able to see over them on the top level. The photographs 9 and 10 are a photograph of a cutting from the local newspaper, with the last paragraph being the relevant one on photograph 9, noting how awesome the sea view is.
Brilliant.
That's essentially it.
Did you have a question, David? A comment here.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to fix your problems in this. You're going to have to submit to the plan processes that follow through Christchurch City. Sure. But thank you for your evidence.
I do note that the bill does say from the foreshore, the high level line, so I'd consider that the dunes are part of the zone of the New Brighton, within the New Brighton boundary.
No, I'm not disputing that. It's just we're not getting down to that level of detail of what the new plan should say.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we're essentially looking at the governance model rather than
exactly.
the.
I realise there's a very early point to be time to be promoting this sort of idea. I would imagine it would occur in May
you're going to have to
year.
do it a few more times.
I was going to say, it's a
That's
very good,
right.
it's a very good practice run.
Yeah.
Great.
I imagine a forum may be called and different ideas.
We'd hope so.
Yes.
Todd, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Appreciate it
Thank you.
nonetheless. Thank
Great.
you.
Cheers.